As we all know, the Karen's Cup is coming up, which is the pair of the Singfield Cup with the all-women's field, and black is actually one of the strongest female players of our time, Muzechikana. Hello everybody, this is Grandmaster Denes Boros, and this is Puzzler's Paradise, everyone's favorite. Alright, so let's start. Let's start with puzzle 1. Landa, who's a famous Russian grandmaster, is playing the equally famous Hilar Person Tiger, who's famous for the Tiger Modern. Now he made a sacrifice on d4, and the big question is here if it's sound or not. White to move and win. So can we take with the pawn? No. So that's out of the question. What else can we do? We can take with the knight and the bishop. One of them will be good. One of them will be less good. Yes, back there. Saw hand, yes.
I think the knight, because if you take with the bishop and the rook is, and the rook gets taken.
Okay, so
The last rank is.
okay, that's great. It's a good point, but you have to calculate. One move is not enough. So you're claiming that knight takes is good. But if you believe it, prove it. Yes?
I feel like bishop takes d4 is better.
Okay.
Because if it's knight takes d4, bishop takes d4, bishop takes d4, and then, like, well, if you take with the bishop, you open the c file more earlier. So he does not have the option of taking with rook takes d4.
Okay.
Exploiting the play.
All right. You have good points that you feel that knight takes is better or bishop takes. Which one?
Bishop.
The bishop take is better. But we still don't know exactly if the knight takes is good or not. We need proof. This game is just about proving your point. How good is knight takes? Objectively. Yes?
I guess it's better because, like, it attacks the queen and also.
No long-term philosophical answer is good. I want facts. So knight takes, let's take. How would you play with black? That's the question.
Bishop.
Okay, bishop takes. Can I take with the pawn?
No.
Not really, because the queen would take me, and that's not good. So bishop takes. Now the question is if this is winning for white or not.
This is winning for black.
You have an idea? No? Okay. Yeah?
Now black can play rook takes c1, rook takes c1, and then rook takes d4, winning back his material.
So why do you have to take on c1 first? Why do you have to take here?
Because if you take the rook takes d4, then white can take the rook on c8.
Yes, with check. So that's very important. Because of this, white is winning. But because of the move order, black can start with taking first, takes, no checks. I mean, even if you check, I can take you, so it's not a big deal. And e takes obviously doesn't work because of the same good old queen takes e2 trick. Okay, so now we know that knight takes d4 is not good. But we have to prove the other one. Okay, yes? Yes.
Bishop takes d4 is better. If bishop takes d4, bishop takes d4. And if black tries to do the same thing with rook takes c1, then you can take with the knight.
So bishop takes d4, that's what you're saying. And now bishop takes d4, you said? Or, okay, bishop takes.
And then you can do knight takes.
Okay, knight takes. If I take,
Then rook takes c1.
then rook takes c8 is the same thing, and takes, we win. But the big question is obviously rook takes c1. This is the main idea of black's sacrifice on d4.
Oh, you can take with the knight.
Yes. And the key is taking with the knight, and that's what Landa found. Because if white takes on c1, we can just take on d4, takes, and we're back on track. This is good for black. So knight takes c1, saves the day and loses for black, Because after takes, this knight defends the queen. That was the point. Good job. Now here, we're getting attacked as black, but black has a good defense here. Knight e8 check is being threatened. But sometimes the best defense is attack. And this position is no different.
Did you check with your black knight?
Where?
H3.
Yeah, knight h3 check. Very good. Now what if I move my king in the corner? What will happen then? Yes?
Knight takes f2, king g. Knight takes f2, king g1. Knight h3, king h. If they play king h1, queen takes f1.
Yes. So if they don't react, we'll just keep on checking until it's all cleared for our queen. And then checkmate. I mean, not yet, but just for the fans, knight f2 is a nice little smothered checkmate. So. Although there's one more thing that we need to see, and that's g takes h3, yes?
Rook to g5.
And this just wins the queen, correct? And the queen drops. Yeah. Okay. Other puzzle. So this game was played between Kuzmin and Korchiev. Korchiev is not a well-known Russian player, but he is also very strong. Not as well-known as Kuzmin, who's very good. And I think he was top 100, if I'm correct. And actually, they're playing this in the Soviet Championship of 1976. It's white to move and win. Seemingly in this position, black is out of danger. In fact, seems to be almost winning because both the bishop and the queen is hanging. Yes?
D takes e6.
Okay, I take your queen.
And then
And then?
I'm blanking.
Oh, okay. All right. Yes?
D takes e6.
Okay. Rook takes the queen.
And E takes f7.
King h8. Okay.
To a queen.
Okay, I take you. All right, let's go there. So d takes e6. Yeah, we'll get there. D takes e6, yes. This must be the critical move. That's correct. One's correct with that. Takes here. f8. Take you.
Rook takes f8.
I try not to resign yet.
Never mind.
Yeah, so it's close, but not quite there. Question is how to do it. Is this the correct solution? Probably d takes, at least d takes looks very promising here. Yes?
So you go d takes e6, rook
Okay.
takes d3, e takes f7 check, king h8, and instead of playing f8 queen, should you play bishop to b2?
Very good. What's the point of bishop b2?
Pin the bishop.
Yeah?
G7.
Pin the bishop, and what can black do then?
Resign.
Yeah, basically he can resign. But if he's still desperate and tries not to lose, what would be the only move here? Yeah?
Bishop takes b2.
Well, if you take, I queen with mate, no?
Yeah.
But you can still fight with one more move that doesn't lose immediately.
Rook to c3.
Queen b4.
Rook c3, I can still take, But it should be a blockading move. That's true. Yes?
Queen
Queen
B4.
b4. Then I queen. And I mate.
Queen. If
Yeah?
Rook D8.
d8. I can still queen. So our main issue is this bishop on b2, right? So we need to block it somehow. How can we well, I shouldn't say conveniently block it, because there's no convenient way of blocking it, but at least we could try. Yes?
E5.
e5 what?
Pawn.
But it's black to move.
Oh.
Yeah?
Rook D1.
Rook d1, that's not blocking this diagonal.
Oh, I was trying to like stop rook from like rook takes I think.
But also I can just queen and mate. Yes? Yeah, sorry.
Pawn 6H. Because then he can.
Pawn what?
6H.
What is that?
For blacks. Oh, H6.
Oh, pawn h6.
Yeah.
But
Then
we're trying to block this bishop from pinning black. Yeah?
rook to D4.
Yes. Even though this is still losing, because we know the winning move here, right?
Bishop.
Yeah, just bishop takes and has to resign now. But when you're playing a game, it's very important to make it as hard as possible for your opponent. That's why I wanted to show this rook d4 move, because one mistake is enough. If your opponent takes, you might be able to take with check and something might happen. So try to force your opponent to fight and find the best moves possible. And here obviously black resigned because it's just losing now. And this game is interesting because, as we all know, the Karen's Cup is coming up, which is the pair of the Singfield Cup with the all-women's field. And black is actually one of the strongest female players of our time, Muzechikana. So we're actually going to play in her shoes. So actually try to do it. So it's her to move and win. Seemingly, she's in a big trouble because the bishop and the queen is double attacked. But she finds a very creative tactical idea here, which will save the game and even win it for her. So it's black to move and win. Yeah?
Bishop D4.
Bishop d4. But if I take your queen?
About rook to c8.
Rook to c8, then I take on c5. Yeah, so it's actually not that easy. What the Muzic comes up in this position is very, very nice. Actually a very tricky idea by her. But I give you a hint, you must do something with your queen. You need that queen to checkmate in this position. Yes?
Queen?
Yes.
Oh, I was thinking bishop D4, but I was thinking bishop D4, rook takes C5, and then rook G5. Yeah,
Hmm?
we have rook H5.
Yeah, but if you take, I take here, I take you.
Yeah.
And I take everything. So this is not too good. So we need to preserve that queen for later mating action. Yeah.
Queen E7.
Queen e7. If I take,
On E5, king g1, and then queen g3.
Queen g3. If I play rook d2.
Bishop h3.
If I play rook cc2. I'm fighting.
Queen takes f3.
And I bring my queen into defense as well.
It's not gonna work.
Yeah, it's just too many pieces. So you need to act a little bit more drastically. But your first move might actually be the best one. Queen e7 might be the best one. Just you need to try a different idea in the upcoming moves. So queen e7 is the first move. Bishop takes e5. Just we will need to go for a more radical solution here with black. Yes?
Queen g5.
Queen g5. Well, probably I have to defend my bishop. Yeah. So not this one. Yes? Oh, never mind. Okay. So somewhere here we have a very, very good solution for black. Yes?
Bishop to h3.
Bishop h.
h3 and queen h4.
Mm-hmm.
So white cannot take the bishop on h3, and you also then name bishop takes g2 or queen h4.
Mm-hmm. Bishop h3, very interesting. Take. Can probably play something like rook d2.
Queen h4.
h4. Interesting. Probably king g1.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
Yeah. So we're close here, but black has to be really precise, as we saw from the previous examples. We cannot just attack a bit. We have to go all out to save or even win the game. Yeah.
Rook takes g2.
Rook takes g2. And I take you.
Queen g5.
Queen g5. King f1.
Queen e5.
Then I'll go rook d2. This again doesn't look enough. So probably we need some more pieces to attack, right? Because we were only using either the rook or the queen, or the way we did it was a bit slow. So we need to play a bit more forcingly to actually get there with the attack. How can our play become even more forcing? Because whenever we sacrifice something, it was never a check. That's actually a problem. Yes?
Queen h4.
Yeah, queen h4, king g1,
Rook takes g2.
takes g2, king takes g2,
Bishop h3.
bishop h3, and king g1, queen g3, and checkmate. Yes. Now, the way she did it is queen g3 check. Here. Here. Check again. If you go this way, the rooks will get you. And this way, checkmate. So she brought the queen first, but the same concept what you did. So in this one, in this puzzle, what we needed to see is we need to attack as quickly as possible. Because white is basically a move away from defending everything. So we need to give everything with check, check to be able to checkmate. This is a game between Donchenko and Chernyshov. Chernyshov is very famous for being a very creative player. Donchenko is a young grandmaster. Obviously, his career just started when he was playing this game, but it's still a very nice puzzle. It's black to move and win. Yeah.
Knight c1.
Mm-hmm. What's the idea of knight c1?
I'm threatening knight a2, and if you play rook takes e2, I could play knight takes e2 and then pick up the rook.
Mm-hmm. This is a very nice little double check. You take, and now it's winning. Otherwise, it's quite hard to stop this idea of knight a2. And actually, after knight c1, b4 would even be checkmate, selfmate, or helpmate. So this is not too good. Therefore, knight c1 is the winning move, yeah? So this game is between Roger and McShane. McShane is known to be one of the best British players of these days. Roger is an Austrian player. So it's black to move and win. So what's our first impression of this position with black? What are we going to play against? Yeah?
The knight on h5.
I mean, we're black, so it's black to move and win. So what is black trying to accomplish in this position? Yeah?
Well, putting the h-file and then somehow
Yes. So we're trying to somehow get close to the white king, right? You have a solution?
yeah.
Okay.
I use g4.
G4? Okay. G4. Okay. G4. Well, I have no choice. I have to go knight c2.
Knight g3.
G3. I have to take. Pawn takes. Queen h6. And it seems that I defended everything. I defended these threats, and I'm threatening to take on d4. But the idea is good. We're supposed to mate somewhere around and do some tricks around the white king. But unfortunately, g4 is a little slow. Any other ideas? Yeah.
f3.
F3. And if I take this ugly move, g takes. What was your idea, though?
I was just trying to see if it worked and see.
Oh, okay. Because I could see that if I would take with the knight, maybe you would try bishop e3, g4, and then maybe this is even more visible, right? Maybe this was your idea. Probably. Now, but unfortunately, for you, I have this move which will help my queen to defend my second rank. So it has to be something else. Yes.
Knight G3.
Okay. Immediately. H takes.
And then we play F takes G3.
F takes G3. Okay. What if I just take on F5? What if I just take on F5?
Yeah, I was thinking G4, but then Queen H6.
Yeah. Yeah, G4 then, that's, as you mentioned, is the same thing, Queen H6. And actually, I'm the one almost mating you. So, okay. Now, one of them is closer to the truth than the others. Yeah?
Knight G3.
Okay.
G3, Queen F6.
Very good. Queen F6. The idea?
Of going
Queen H6, which is very nice. Now we have to check two main defenses. One of them is to give some cover for the king. How can we defend with white here? Yeah. Yeah, knight F3. And how can we refute this knight F3 idea?
G4.
G4, then
Knight
I can even take on D4. If you go here, I take on D4 and you don't have these threats anymore. So you have to be really precise when you're sacrificing.
H4.
Queen H6, yeah. Knight H2,
F
yeah. And I'm out of moves because I can't defend against this one. Maybe Knight H4 is a little better, but then how we win in this case? Yeah, just F takes G3, the same thing, and the queen will take. All right, so that's good. If this normal defense doesn't work, that's a sign that we're on the right track. Now, White tried his best chance and actually played the move that gives the best chance for him to hold. What is the best way to defend in this position? Yes. Rook F2. Well, Rook F2, I might just go F takes G3. Go here, I might just take. And then I'll do the same thing. Check, check, and mate. So you need to find a more radical move here with white that could give some sort of hope. Some sort. I mean, white is losing, but maybe this can give a little bit of hope. So what he played is Rook takes F4, which is funny move, especially because if we would believe that anyways we can play Queen H6. Are we correct? Is Queen H6 good here? No, yes. Raise your hand if you have an idea. Yes? Yeah, Rook H4. And suddenly this nice trick works, because we can't take, because we lose our queen. Therefore, Max Shane found a very, very nice way to win the game. He didn't actually take on F4. He found an even stronger move here. He wanted to win even more material. Yeah?
No, I was thinking of one that probably didn't work.
But still, tell me what you were thinking.
Takes E1,
Oh, Rook takes E1, and if I take?
then G takes F4.
Could possibly work, but it's very risky. Because you're winning right now, you don't need to give up everything. Yes?
Bishop to E3.
Bishop to E3. That's close. That's not exactly what he played, but had a similar idea. Yeah?
Bishop E5.
No, Bishop E5, I'll just move my rook away. Yes?
Bishop c3.
Yes. So he played bishop c3, and this is a very, very clever move, because now everything is attacked for white. The queen, the knight, and the rook. So if you move the queen, I take the knight and the rook. Actually, Roger decided to give up the queen, but that's basically tantamount to resignation. That's why it's good to look around and not always just take your opponent's stuff, but check if you can attack some more pieces. And basically after bishop c3, black was easily winning. So in this position was played between Koneru and Zhukova. And Koneru, who was always world championship level in women's chess, she actually played a match with Muzichuk even though she lost. But she was always on the top there, and she's facing Zhukova, who's a very strong female grandmaster, and she is to move and win the game. So it's black to move and win. The first move is more of a preparation for a sacrifice than the sacrifice itself. It's not going to be, the first move is not a sacrifice, that's what I'm saying. And it's black to move and win. Yeah?
Oh, you played rook b8 first?
Rook b8.
Queen b1.
That could work. Zhukova played something else. For example, like rook b8, if you do rook b8, then it probably can go bishop e4. And if you exchange and go here, I can take the pawn. So that's why she didn't go this direction. But your idea is, she has the same concept in mind as you, but she tried to go the other way around. So Zhukova's next move is more about restricting her opponent's pieces. And that's what she was looking for when she played this move. Yes? Yeah. Queen b1. It's a good move, but that's not what she played. So what she played is like Queen b1, but a bit less committal. So she didn't want to put the queen in constant danger. Yeah? Queen b2, yes. Queen b2. And obviously, this queen on b2 is very annoying. So Koneru decided to chase that queen around. But the question is how good rook b4 was. Hint, Zhukova has a really good idea here. Yes?
Queen takes c1.
Yeah, queen takes c1. And I take?
Rook b8.
Yes. And now it's tough luck for white, because you can't move the queen anymore, because then you just take the rook, right? And if you take, I take you, and there's nobody going to stop me from playing rook b1. Usually, d6 would be a saving grace, but does this save the game? Anyway, shape or form? Not really, because rook b1 comes, d7, I take you, and I play rook d1, and there's, yeah?
After rook b1, can't you play king f2?
Well, you can play king f2, but then I just take you anyways.
And then d7.
Yeah, and if d7, then I just go under you. And I mean, oftentimes bishop f3 is an idea, but then I still have rook d1, because I just promote to whatever I want. Let's make it a rook because it's funnier. And I just take you. So, there's one move that I want you guys to find just because that's the hardest way to fight. It's still not good enough, but it's a way to try to hold on with white. What is the best possible defense here? Yes?
Bishop to e4.
Yeah, bishop e4. Why is bishop e4 so good as a defensive move? Yeah.
Because you're cutting off the bishop on g6, that
Mhm.
is c2 pawn,
Mm-hmm.
and like the queen can take the c2 pawn anytime, so you have
Mm-hmm.
to take care of
Yeah. So how can we win here with black? Back there, how can we win here with black in this position? It's black to move and win. Mm-hmm. Right. Mm-hmm. So we just stopped you from defending the c2 pawn. Somehow you need to get back the control with black. Yeah? Yeah.
bishop takes e4.
Yeah, bishop takes e4. In the same way, rook b1 will work, and it's just winning. I mean, maybe even rook takes b4 is better, because takes, and this is supposed to be an easy win, because two rooks against the queen is much stronger in endgames. In the middle game, when you have a queen against two rooks, it's complicated, but in the endgame, and especially with a king so exposed, with so many checks possible, this should be lost. So it's actually white is Carlsen's second. I don't know if he's still seconding him, but he used to be the second of Carlsen. He's playing Zherebuk. So it's white to move and win. So as you can see, something's strange going on with black's position. What are the most significant things that we can see in this position? What looks kind of strange? Can anybody tell me in the middle what's kind of weird in black's position? Hey, what's up?
What?
So, is this king on f7 actively placed?
I don't know.
Well, you can go yes and no.
No.
No? Well, yeah, it's a bit awkwardly placed instead of well placed. So we have it pinned as white. So we just need to use this for a very nice trick. You can actually use it to give a deadly check. Yes? Yeah.
Rook e4.
Yeah, rook e4. Because the thing is, if I take on e4, then I have a very beautiful check. And that's knight g5.
And also the queen's just hanging.
Well, the queen is just hanging, but this is maybe the easiest way. Even though this is winning, but knight g5 is also just good enough. And just take the queen. So whenever your opponent's pieces are a bit scattered, you can expect to be able to sacrifice. The only time it's harder to imagine a sacrifice when your opponent's pieces are on normal squares. Often it doesn't work in that case. So it's black to move and win here. Even though white's pieces are normally placed, black is just very, very active. Yes?
Queen takes F3.
Queen takes f3. Queen takes f3. Okay. G takes.
Knight H3.
Knight h3. King f1.
Bishop A6.
Mm-hmm. Very nice. And now black will eventually win everything on c4 and e2. And that's very nice. There's actually another way of doing this. Queen f3 is very nice, but you don't have to start with that order. You can also start as in the game. Yeah?
Knight to A6.
Yeah, knight h3. And this is the way they played it, but actually I'm not sure that there's anything wrong with doing the other way around, with queen takes f3. And if king h1, how do we win? Yeah, take on f3. Takes and checkmate. It's the same thing, just reversed orders. And if king f1, actually you don't even need to take on f3, bishop a6, check wins here. A very nice little puzzle by Luther. It's another really tricky position. It's black to move and win. Seemingly everything is normal, but white's king's position is a little bit tricky looking. Might run into some trouble. Hint, hint. So do we see some undefended pieces for white? Yeah?
Rook on C1 and the bishop on D3.
The rook on c1 and the bishop on d3. So we're supposed to be able to use that. Yes.
Maybe knight E5.
Knight e5. But what if you go knight e5? Oh, knight e5. What if I take you and I take the bishop? But you're close. You're close. Try to find a different move. What if it's not knight e5, but yeah? Knight takes e3. Because if I take, what's the difference between knight e5 and what's the difference between the two? Yeah?
If bishop takes
No, I'm asking him.
Oh, there's a hanging shot.
Okay, but now how do you win with black? In this position you're winning.
You could queen C1.
Yeah, you can go queen c1. And because of this enormous powerful knight on e3, you can checkmate. So that's why it was a big difference that you took on e3 and instead of knight e5. So that means white will have to move something, and after taking knight c4, black is just a pawn up. Actually, that's not even true. I can again go queen c1. But at least, let's say if white takes, black is just a pawn up, but it should be enough for the game. And last but not least, I want to show this one, this puzzle. It's white to move and win. And actually, this is a little bit tricky. White realizes that one of the pieces, one of black's pieces is very loose. And he uses for full effect. He uses that knowledge for full effect. Yes? Yeah.
Queen D8.
Queen d8. King h7.
Bishop D1.
Yes. So how did you find this?
Because I was thinking, at first I was thinking like maybe queen H4 and try to knight 4, but then I was thinking it worked.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started looking at ways to win the knight.
Mm-hmm. So you realize that this knight on h4 is a little bit loose. Now first you have to attack it, then you have to chase away the defender. And because of the nature of this position, there's no real good square for black. You have to move the queen, but then it drops. And even if you try to go on the line, I just defend my bishop. If you go here, I prefer defending this e-pawn, just to be safe. And in normal positions, when your opponent has an e4 pawn, there's one more defensive idea that black can use here. What is that? How you could normally try to find a safe spot for this knight. And where it would be. Yes? Knight f3. And probably even here, this would be probably the best chance. But unfortunately, for us, as black, you can just take. And now this is just losing. Because I can even just check you and bring the king closer, or just go queen d2. This is losing. So this is it for Puzzler's Paradise. And I hope that I showed you that sometimes finding which pieces are loose are enough to find a combination. That was an example in this puzzle and in the previous puzzles as well. Thank you so much.